A very pleasant morning to all the dignitaries, delegates, learned professors, research scholars, and students. The postgraduate and research department of English, Jamal Muhammad College, is extremely happy to welcome every one of you to this one-day national conference on liberating the rhetorics, changing trends in English language and literature.
Prayer transcends our souls and helps us to reach God. Let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty through prayer. I now call upon Mr. B. Syed Abu Tahir, Assistant Professor of English, to recite a few verses from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, O my dear Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, say, He is Allah, the one and only. Allah is unwanting, perfect. He does not require anything. He did not give birth and he was not born. None is comparable to him. Jazakallah khaira. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Here comes our boys band to recite Tamil Taivarthu. Let us all rise up and pay tribute to Tamil, the mother of all languages.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெளிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதி சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you everyone.
A welcoming face, gentle smile, and sweet words are the virtues of a good host, says Tirukural. Here comes our beloved head of the department, Dr. A. Muhammad Mustafa, Associate Professor of English, to welcome the gathering. Please, sir.
Respected Secretary and Correspondent, respected members of the management in absence here, respected Principal, respected Chief Guest of this morning, Dr. Shuhufta Shahin, Professor, Department of English, Maulana Azad National University, and Special Officer, Maulana Azad National University. On behalf of the management, on behalf of the staff members, we welcome you, ma'am, for this one-day seminar on liberating the rhetorics, changing trends in English language and literature. So we also have we have received nearly more than 130 papers. So this is a when we decided on the topic, we thought that we should give chance for everyone. We did not want it to confine the area to one particular topic or one particular genre or one particular specific field, so that we wanted to give chance to almost every scholars. So that is why the topic we decided is a broad area, so that everyone can submit papers, everyone will have an opportunity to bring out their research potentialities. And I'm very proud and happy to share with you that we have papers from across Pan India. We have papers from Rajasthan, we have papers from Maharashtra, we have papers from all the four corners, east, west, south and north. And we have decided to publish these papers under with ISSN number in our college magazine. That's a college thing, Jamal Academic Research Journal. And let me take this opportunity to welcome all the participants. All right, we are planning to have parallel sessions, so that every participant gets an opportunity to present his or her paper and thing. So we have also identified experts from different colleges, so they will act as chairpersons. So they will review those papers and they will pass their observations. So that will help the research scholars to pursue. So coming down to our college is was started in the year 1951 by these two great philanthropists, all right, two great friends who came together to start this wonderful institution. And English department is the oldest department in this college, started along with the college in the year 1951, and since then, all right, it has grown to a research department. So today our department is a research department. We have a wonderful library. We have books, nearly more than 12,000 copies. And English department of Jamal Muhammad College is the most sought after library in this university area. So we have some rare collections of books. So that is a feather on a cap. And we have a wonderful management, all right, the magnanimous management in the name, all right. It's not a thing in all true spirit. It is a magnanimous management. So when we decided to organize this conference, so we all know that of late the authorities do not fund any conferences. So we'll have to generate our own fund. So I approached the principal and the management. The management was really magnanimous enough to sponsor this conference, this one-day conference. So my heartfelt thanks on behalf of the department to the secretary and the principal for helping us to organize this wonderful function. All right, wonderful one-day conference. So it's without their support, it would have been a really Herculean task. All right, because we know that of late the UGC is not funding any conferences. So we have research scholars, we have professors, we have professor from VIT, Professor Vijay Kumar. All right, he's an illustrious alumnus of our college. We have faculty members from many colleges. They have overwhelmingly have come here, responded to our call And I'm sure, all right, your stay here will certainly be very useful. And to the participants, you can visit this college. It's a huge campus, all right. It is a world in itself. All right, Jamal Muhammad College is a world in itself. We have so many facilities. You can visit our museum, all right. So you can go across the college and visit all the facilities available in the college. And let me once again take this opportunity to welcome everyone, the participants, all right, the student friends, and every research scholars. Your stay one day will be really fruitful. Let me take this opportunity once again to thank our chief guest for having accepted our invitation and readily accepted. We just called over the phone, all right, and then we made a request to madam, and she was so kind enough, all right, in spite of she's in charge of the university, she's a special officer, all right, who is in charge of the entire university. In spite of her busy schedule, she was so kind enough to accept our invitation. And then thank you very much, ma'am, for having come here. So let me also thank the members of the management, the faculty member, everyone for helping us to organize this one-day conference successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank, thank you, sir, for your warm words of welcome.
Now it's time to honor the person who has made this occasion a special one. I now humbly request our secretary and correspondent, sir, to honor the chief guest, Dr. Shugupta Shaheen, Professor and Head, Department of English, Maulana Azad, National Urdu University, Hyderabad, with a shawl and citation. Please, sir. Thank you, sir, for serving the honor. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting it.
A leader is a dealer in hope, says Napoleon Bonaparte. Here comes a leader who instilled hope in every one of us and guided us to greatness. With your big round of applause, let me invite the burning star and leading light of our institution, Dr. S. Ismail Moghudin, Principal, Jamal Muhammad College, to deliver the presidential address. Please, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Most Honorable Secretary and Correspondent and most respected today's Chief Guest, Dr. Shaheen, Professor and Head Department of English, Maulana Azad, National Urdu University, Hyderabad, Telangana. Respected Head of the Department, Dr. Mustafa, and lovable retired Head of the Department, Dr. Ibrahim, Professor Famida ma'am, organizing secretaries, Dr. Muhammad Anwar, Dr. Parvez Sharif, Professor Dr. Jamesha Mohiddin, Controller of Examination, Deputy Controller of Examinations, Barzar, faculty members of Jamal Muhammad College and other colleges, participants throughout nation, and my dear young Jamalians. I appreciate the Department of English for conducting a one-day national conference on liberating the rhetorics, changing trends in English language and literature. And when I discussed with the madam about our college, I told her that Jamal Muhammad College, and for you also I am telling, Jamal Muhammad College is by two friends. It is very important, underline, two friends, Haji Janab Jamal Muhammad Sahab and Khaja Mian Rautar. So the two friends, they earned a lot of money, and their hard earned money is, I used to tell, is invested again. You don't think that investment means profit in this world, but they want profit in the hereafter. So that is why the motto of the college is from Holy Quran, show us the right path. இஹ்தின சிராத்தல் முஸ்தகீம், இறைவா எங்களை நேர் வழியில் நடத்துவாயாக. That is the motto of the college. And what is our vision? The founder's vision is excellence and beyond excellence. There is no limit. Sky is the limit. So after the founding members, the successive management, they also followed the same footstep, and the college now from scratch, now there are 11,000 students, that too 4,500 girls are also studying in this college. I should not say studying, they are getting a higher education with ethics, with moral values. And every year around 3,000 members getting degree. They are all molded here, and Alhamdulillah, because of the management, because of the faculty members, our alumni throughout the globe, they are sponsoring 80 lakhs every year for the purpose of providing scholarship to the poor and downtrodden students. Our college, Alhamdulillah, this year we got the greatest rank, 3.69 out of 4 in NAC. So getting 3.69, it is not an easy job. It is very difficult, because we are maintaining this for the 4th cycle. That is more important. Not only in NAC, in NIRF also we got 56th rank. In succession, we are in 100 ranks, within 100 ranks. And also CPE, that is UGC awarded CPE status, college with the potential for excellence, for 2 times. DST, first project we received, and also recently the TNSCST, Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, they have also awarded a project. So why I am telling these things? Getting grants, money is not important. The recognition Jamal Muhammad College is getting more important. And as Professor Mustafa told, it is a blessed soil. So my dear researchers, you are all here to interact with the fellow researchers, to interact with the resource persons. So that is why you are spending your valuable time here. Definitely in Jamal Muhammad College, I think definitely you will get some ideas to do further research, which ultimately should help the people of the country. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We have our Honorable Secretary and Correspondent, sir, in our midst. His presence itself means a lot to us. I now humbly request our Secretary and Correspondent, sir, to felicitate the gathering. Please, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All praise be to the Almighty, the most beneficent and most merciful. I begin with. Today, the PG and Research Department of English of Jamal Muhammad College Autonomous organizing a one-day national conference on liberating the rhetorics, changing trends in the English language and literature. In the most honorable presence of a chief guest of honor today, Dr. Shagufta Shaheen, Professor and Head of the Department of English, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. Our dynamic principal, assistant principal and former principal, our lovable treasurer of this institution, and learned members of the staff, and my dear student friends. At the outset, I'm immensely happy to go over here and speak before you in this occasion regarding this one day national conference. The information I can give to the student friends, it is an opportunity to you, a platform which has been given to you in this occasion to perform your talent, your hidden talent. At the same time, it is a friendly movement of our college, a hosting college of other students from other colleges, will always help those students who come over here to make the participation in these programs. And also, they have a very kind hearted student and friends who help them as brothers and sisters. So, this is the traditional follow up of our Jamal Muhammad College students who behave in such a way, giving honor and respect to other colleges and their friends. So, this is the vision and mission which has been a very long vision which has been given to our generation by the eldest generation, that is the people who have initiated this institution during the year 1951. At early, it has been started to make an inaugural session of this college in 1819, 1918. But due to some other factors, it has been delayed, and only on 1951 the inauguration has been initiated and the college was started, and by our two great friendly philanthropists, Jamal Muhammad Sahib and Khaja Mian Rawat, and identical personalities of business of leather industries who have a very great vision to give education to all category people of our nation. So that is why Jamal Muhammad College has so much of student friends coming from various parts of the country to get an education. At the same time, not only the education, the ethical value of the individual minds. Without education, nothing is possible. At the same time, without ethics, anything is not possible. So here, the education is given, the world education as well as the ethical value education at the same time, and good practices have been followed here. Very in particular, having 15 clubs to be involved by the student friends, not to keep them idle. So this is the formula of our institution, where education and all the other pathway activities are continuously happening in our institution, and that is why the changes of the mind of the student friends are not being diverted, and it has been concentrated in particular events, and they, when they leave the premises after getting their degrees, that practice is being continued, and we find many students and who have been spread wide through this globe are very much starring in their respective fields of education as well as their entity in business and work spots. So our alumni are throughout the globe, and they are starting very well, and in return to our institution, they are helping the institution as well as monetary as well as intellectual participations. That is why our students are having much and more love and affection towards this institution, and even after their education, they have a soft corner, the liking and love towards the institution to come over here and help the poor students as well as the institution to grow. The vertical growth of the institution has been considered only by the valuable teachers. Only these valuable teachers have been right from the inception of this institution are the landmark people of our Jamal Muhammad College. The people are very true to the salt. That is why they are being very pleasant in this environment, and also they want to bring up the students to be a very coolest place and environment. So this is a new kind of environment where no other college possesses in this kind of environment for the student friends to be educated in Jamal Muhammad College. With these few words, let me conclude my speech, invoking the blessings of the Almighty to shower the choicest blessing on all of your endeavors, and let we pray for the Dr. H. Jamesh Shagufta of Shaheen, who have come all along from Hyderabad to enlighten you with knowledge and skill. And thank you, madam. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the best practices of our institution. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of English, we extend our heartiest welcome to our treasurer, sir, a wise and lovable man. I request him to offer his words of wisdom. Please, sir.
All praise to the Creator. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to one and all present here. Most respected and honorable Secretary and Correspondent, learned Principal, the HOD of the English Department, Dr. Mustafa sir, the Additional Vice Principal, Madam Hamida, our former VP and HOD of the English Department, Dr. Ibrahim sir, Parvaz Sharif, Anwar, Jamesh Ahmedin, and a galaxy of our staff. Professors sitting in the front row from various departments. Very happy to see Jinnah back in his good spirits after his indisposition. And you can see our bursar sitting, our Dean of Arts and Science for Men, and all the women staff members of the department, members on the MC desk, and students from various colleges and the Jamalians. It gives me immense pleasure to stand before you to offer my felicitations for the one-day national conference conducted by the PG Department of English on liberating the rhetorics, changes, trends in English language and literature. And we are going to have very parallel technical sessions, both in the morning and the afternoon. So a hectic day for all of you. So I don't want to take much of your time, because the parallel sessions have to go on and be completed in a day's time. And of course, the students from various colleges, they can enjoy the hospitality of Jamal Muhammad College here. And you can also, this conference will definitely enlighten you. You will have new your knowledge also. That is why conferences and symposiums are conducted, only for the benefit of the students. And we have in our midst, who is going, she is going to address the keynote address, Dr. Shagufta Shaheen from Maulana Abdul Kalam, Maulana Azad National Urdu University. Maulana Azad and Jamal Muhammad Sahib are very great friends. And whenever Maulana Azad used to come to Madras, he used to stay in our Jamalia hostel, which was started by Jamal Muhammad Sahib. And, and likewise, when he became the first education minister, Jamal Muhammad Sahib and his son, Jamal Muhyiddin, who was the MP, they used to stay in Azad house only. So the friendship was there with our family. So I'm really happy that she has come from a university which is named after Maulana Azad. So thank you very much for being here today, ma'am. And, and I hope your keynote address will definitely be liked by all and definitely enlighten the young students. And once again, I thank the English department for conducting such a wonderful conference for the benefit of the students, and I send my best wishes for the successful conduct of this program. Thank you.
Thank you.
He, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our treasurer, sir, representing, our secretary, sir, representing the book on our book on our founders to the chief guest.
To produce a mighty book, you must choose a mighty theme. Here comes Dr. H. Jamisha Moideen, Associate Professor, to present the theme of the conference. Please, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of the Almighty, the most benevolent and merciful. Good morning, everybody. The most respected Secretary and uh, the most respected Secretary of the Management Committee, the most respected Treasurer, respected Principals of the head of the department. I welcome one and all, and it's my pleasure to present the theme of conference. The conference is an attempt in creating a balance in the imbalanced world. All the problems are man-made in this world, so it is the responsibility of man to find solutions whenever we need. Since new problems also keep arising, constructive dialogues and conversations are inevitable from time to time. At the backdrop of dramatic changes taking place in the modern world, language and literature offers freedom to dynamic, innovative breakthroughs. There are unlimited themes in literature. Every kind of creative writing deals with some or other theme through poems, plays, fiction, non-fiction, movies, television shows, and social media propaganda. The conference paves a way for discussing all the issues which are rhetorically constructed. It also helps us to explore how language can be leveraged to support or challenge oppressive frameworks and advocate for a more just society. This conference focuses on exploring the power of writing to change the world, paving way and particular attention to the role of literary movements and language in tackling all forms of discrimination and prejudice based on issues such as patriarchy, race, ethnicity, class, sexuality, religious affiliation, and other forms of classifications. While teaching a language, we come across linguistic barriers such as the conference focuses on dynamic subjects from the perspectives of literature and language, as well as related disciplines in the humanities and beyond. Thus, the theme, Liberating the Rhetorics, Changing Trends in Language and Literature, is broadly taken to include as many perspectives as possible, well as providing a focused environment and discussion. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
A good compliment and a word of recognition will drive people to achieve more. Let me invite Madam A. Famita Banu, Additional Vice Principal and Associate Professor of English, to introduce the Chief Guest. Please, ma'am.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and admiration that I introduce our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Shahukta Shahi. With an illustrious career spanning 25 years in education, Dr. Shahukta Shahin has dedicated herself to the advancement of learning, particularly among Urdu medium students. Her academic journey mirrors the profound words of the Persian poet Jalaluddin Rumi, who once said, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you truly love. It will not lead you astray." Professor Shahin's dedication to comparative literature, translation studies, and fiction reflects her genuine passion for learning and scholarly inquiry. In addition to her teaching and mentorship roles, Madam has made significant contributions to academia through her publications. She has guided over 20 research scholars and has authored 2 books and numerous articles in reputable journals. Professor Shahin's passion for literature and scholarship is evident in her prolific publications, which offer profound insights into various aspects of literature, culture, and society. Her notable writings include an icon of women's emancipation movement, resistance in the poetry of Fayaz Ahmed Fayaz, Flights of Fantasy, Ibn Shafi's Phoenicia for a Traumatized Nation, Language, Nation, and Identity, Feminine Quest for Identity in the novels of Shashi Deshpande, Mary Amni, Madrasa-e-Asafia, Towards a World of Equals, A Room of One's Own, an Indian Perspective, Dakni, a prime indicator of cultural confluence, Understanding Women's Issues, a Feminist Standpoint, etc., etc. As Maya Angelou, the Black American writer, once said, "When you learn, you teach. When you get, you give." Our chief guest, Dr. Shahukta Shahin, embodies this ethos. Actively, she is contributing her expertise to various academic bodies in her capacity as a researcher, educator, and administrator. Currently, she holds the key administrative positions, ensuring fairness and support for students. She is also active in academic governance, contributing her expertise to various bodies. At present, she serves as Officer on Special Duty, OSD 1, Dean of International Students, and Chairperson of Internal Complaint Committee, advocating for academic integrity and inclusivity. Beyond her professional endeavors, Professor Shahin remains committed to advancing education, serving as a trustee and member of various academic bodies. Her journey reflects unwavering dedication, scholarly excellence, and inclusive leadership, making her a beacon of knowledge and leadership in our academic community. As I conclude my speech, I am reminded once again of the beautiful lines of my favorite Persian poet Rumi, who says, "Do not be satisfied with the stories that come before you. Do not be satisfied with the stories that come before you. Unfold your own myth." Indeed, befitting these lines, our chief guest, Professor Dr. Shahukta Shahin's vast experience and profound insights into literature and education make her a truly deserving chief guest of our conference. Hence, it is immense delight that I have the privilege to introduce and extend a hearty welcome alongside all of you to our esteemed chief guest, Madam Dr. Shahukta Shahin, for joining us at this one-day national conference on liberating the rhetorics, changing trends in English language and literature. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting the achievements of the chief guest.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you, management and staff of Jawal Muhammad College for inviting me. Let me say that I was deeply impressed because I did not expect the college to have so much of history. So it was a very pleasant surprise when I got to know on landing yesterday that that the Department of English itself has 75 members. So it was a very pleasant surprise yesterday. Also the warmth with which so many of them came to receive me. So I was not expecting to be so warmly welcomed yesterday. And today, when I came to the college, the heritage, the grandeur of the past, which it has still, which still echoes in the building, in the presence of the memories of the past, I think it is very, very reminiscent that we don't forget our past. We are what we are because of our past. So this college is symbolic of many things that I have realized. It is symbolic of friendship. It's symbolic of inclusiveness. It's symbolic of what we can achieve if we put our mind to it. So in a way, the way the college has started is also a kind of liberating the rhetoric that is there in life about certain stereotypes that we have in mind about friendship, about life in general. So this is, I think, the college itself is commemorating the theme that you have chosen for today's conference. When I got to know about the conference, I was thinking about what topic should I speak on, because whoever has thought of the topic is given a very, very vast opportunity and medium for the speaker or for the paper presenters. So I was thinking of speaking of something which all of you could relate to, especially keeping the quality, keeping the nature, keeping the character of the college in mind. I thought I should speak something which all of you could relate to, and which the theme of the conference refers to. One more point I forgot to mention was also I was deeply impressed by the contribution of the alumni here. And I think that a big hand to the alumni. Because, apart from everything else, we ought to be indebted to the college, to the institution which has contributed to make you what you are. So I'm really, really impressed, and I think it has a lot to say up to you also, that the journey should not end with you taking a degree and going away. You need to give back to the institute that has made you what you are. So since I represent the Department of English, and I'm also an officer on special duty at Maulana Azad National Urdu University. It's a central university, and the mandate of the university is women empowerment. And I have a deep, feeling for the women, especially of the marginalized, especially women themselves are marginalized, but especially for the women of the community to come forward and walk hand in hand so that we make progress. So the topic of my paper is related to liberating the rhetoric regarding the stereotypes that are there regarding women in general and Muslim women in particular. So that is what my paper is dedicated to. So this paper examines the prejudice and bigoted rhetoric of the mainstream, which shapes the episteme regarding what is inferred by them as the heterodoxical secondary. Literature depicts the social, political, historical, cultural, and economic realism seasoned with fiction to address societal evils, apart from providing a platform for psychological introspection and relief through catharsis. It promotes tolerance and understanding for humanity by applying the theory of objective correlativity through an entertaining and aesthetic mode. Literature, therefore, may be perceived as a unifying humanitarian project that is spread across time, geography, culture, and language. It can be used for entertainment, reform, propaganda, societal awareness, change, information, dissemination, and helps to understand the other's culture, society, and point of view. So therefore, literature is neutral and unprejudiced with regard to religion, gender, ethnicity, or class. Irrespective of class, caste, or ethnicity, everyone is free to write or express their voice, their thoughts, and opinion. Literature, therefore, empowers the voiceless. The fact is that fiction facilitates to overcome societal censorship and is therefore a powerful weapon to highlight the social discrimination and taboos of the world by wielding poetic license. The politics of knowledge therefore plays a pivotal and decisive role in formulating the narratives of the marginalized communities around the world. Knowledge is manipulated, constructed, and disseminated for purporting and establishing a warped and dogmatic opinion about them. Their narratives are claimed, perpetuated, and assigned a peripheral position in order to influence public opinion, shape policies, and justify the continued need for domination over them. The impact of misrepresentation and manufactured information may be detrimental to the overall growth and existence of the subject under discussion. The subject recourses to write back and negate the false information and offer their side of the story through the same medium in which they were targeted. In a way, language and literature serve both the oppressor and the oppressed. The Western world, be it Edward Said's Orientalism or Victor Talhan's medieval Christian perceptions of Islam and Muslims, either through conscious willing suspension of disbelief or to assert hegemony and establish itself as the superior, has been driven by the urge to portray Islam and its followers as surrogate and subservient through applying of negative qualifiers and adjectives as binary opposition in contrast to themselves, perceived necessary to establish themselves as positive, rational, humane, and just. Muslim women have been represented as passive, weak, and voiceless, and this typology is accepted as the gospel truth because the section that which disseminates this narrative possesses the power of language. The Muslim women take recourse to literature for self-expression and ventilation as it possesses the power to subvert stereotypes and alter preconceived notions which have hitherto remained unquestioned and undisputed. A significant number of Muslim women have now learned to take over their narratives and voice their side of the story. They have equipped and empowered themselves through education to become independent, free of shackles, dominating influences, external interventions, and are liberated to speak and clear the misrepresentation disseminated by agencies who have appropriated the false narrative by appointing themselves as the righteous advocate. Like a bricoleur, these women must reconstruct their narrative from the same material used by their adversaries. I quote Derrida here. If one calls bricolage the necessity of borrowing one's concept from the text of a heritage which is more or less coherent or ruined, it must be said that every discourse is bricoleur. They must rise and resurrect. This is reference to the women in general and Muslim women in particular. They must rise and resurrect like the phoenix from the ashes that remain after touching the deceptive and spurious falsity disseminated by opposition and salvage the truth. We die and rise the same and prove mysterious by this love. Done. This quotation by Dunn. The problems of women are diverse as well as specific and individualistic. The world is structured heterogeneous, and Muslim women all over the world do not follow one homogeneous culture. The problem among women, be it Muslim or otherwise, appears in case of a conflict between religion and culture which can be attributed as a cause or deterrent for unity among women. Literature helps to bring women divided by diverse languages and cultures under a common umbrella. The fiction written by Muslim women attempts to depict the intervening and crisscrossing politics and social issues. The women attempt to highlight the power equation in the society and family and the misuse and manipulation of religion for benefit and personal gain. Most of the diasporic Muslim writers illustrate their negotiation with multiple identities and adjustments to a new, totally different cultural scenario in the country they have migrated to, apart from an authentic representation of their country of origin. I have just taken some examples from some of the diasporic Muslim women writers. Fatima Farhin's Mirza's novel, A Place for Us, depicts the conflicts between tradition and modernity. Mirza, through her novel, attempts to highlight the necessity of discarding ancient customs if they are no longer effective and bringing in change for betterment. She provides examples of how freedom is curtailed for women more so due to traditions rather than religion. She tactfully deals with the distortion of Islamic laws by highlighting the instances of the spirit of Islam being crushed under the burdens of tradition. It is women who are forced to suffer due to these distortions and superstitions sanctioned by certain religious peers, and apparently daughters appear to bear the brunt of holding the sanctity of religion on their shoulders. Mirza opposes its misuse and drives home the point that Islam offers respect and importance to women and advocates reconciliation between tradition and modernity. She does not advocate radicalism, but is for discarding hollow customs, traditions, cultural practices and superstition, and offers sensibility, adaptation and acceptance to changing times as the solution to lessen personal conflicts. Mirza, through her writings, strives to highlight the manipulation of Islamic teachings by vested interests and the subservient attempts to create the impression that they are archaic when in reality they are modern, and the role played by tradition, customs and superstitions in crushing the true Islamic spirit. Asma Hassan, who identifies herself as a Muslim feminist cowgirl, feels that Muslim Americans are the victims of mistaken identity. She attempts to subvert stereotypes and generalizations concerning the religion she represents. She throws light on Islam in America and attempts to drive home the point that American Muslims are as normal as anyone else in terms of validating, be it family values or religious freedom. Hassan appears to have taken on the responsibility to disseminate the belief that Islam can be a role model to the world in the future. Her novel, Red, White and Muslim, My Story of Belief, has been described as an inspiring account of one woman's journey to reclaim her spiritual and cultural identity. Asma Hassan feels privileged that she is a Muslim by choice and not merely by birth, and takes on the mantle to remove the demonizing of Islam, and through her writing attempts to inspire a fresh look that will be more appreciative and understanding of this misrepresented religion. Hassan attributes the harsh practices and treatment towards women in Islamic countries to pre-Islamic patriarchal traditions and practices. Hassan, through her logic, represents the status of women in Islam as not subservient or servile. She speaks for all those Muslims who are not in favor of terrorism, thereby contributing to defy the belief that all Muslims are terrorists or favor terrorism. She champions a belief, and it is personal experience that makes her qualified to speak on the subject. Hassan also cautions Muslims against mistaking culture for religious diktat. Ali Abraham's All-American Muslim Girl exemplifies the search for identity and a prodigal return to one's faith due to an unjust and forced persecution resulting from Islamophobia, and Laila Lalami, a Moroccan-born American, the Moore's account is an attempt to give voice to Mustafa al-Zamori, the first black explorer of America who happens to be a Muslim. In the Other Americans, Lalami addresses the issues of migrants and refugees and highlights the prejudice and racism prevalent in the United States. Lalami's next book, Conditional Citizens on Belonging in America, is a collection of essays on the theme of American identity and citizenship. Through her books, she strongly brings up the issue of migrants who are always treated as the other and can never dream of being the self. Their status in America, which boasts of being a democracy and unbiased in terms of caste, color, and creed, is conditional, subject to travesty and whims and fancies of the white American who himself is a migrant, occupied America after displacing the original inhabitants. It is this very hypocritical attitude that is under attack in this novel. Hala Alayan is generally praised for providing a perspective in the plight of the privileged as opposed to focusing solely on Palestinians who live in refugee camps. The Salt Houses focuses on migration and the struggle between staying connected to one's traditions and settling in a new country. The topic that Alayan takes up are contemporary and relevant. It is the psychological impact of migration which forms the topic of discussion in the novel. Bjorn Yazbek Haddad, James Smith, and Kathleen Moore in the volume Muslim Women in America, The Challenge of Islamic Identity Today, attempts to change the way the West looks at the Muslim in general and the Muslim women in particular through exhaustive research and study of Islamic teachings. These writers examine and address the issues and the changing paradigms that Muslim women grapple and struggle to negotiate in terms of understanding of gender as ingrained in them in their home country, while at the same time learn to adjust and accept a different understanding resulting from the necessity to address Western criticism about themselves and their beliefs. These women negate the very conception of Muslim women as defenseless, voiceless, and powerless through the very strong argument they present. The treatment and role of Muslim and women in particular is one of the most discussed and controversial aspects of Islam, where it's a fact that women are marginalized and accorded secondary status almost everywhere. In truth, however, almost all religions accord a high status to women. It is the misrepresentation and misinterpretation of religion that result in the oppression and regulation forced upon women. However, the power equation and dynamic is altering, with women in general and Muslim women in particular taking up the challenge of settling things right by using examples from the Holy Quran and the Prophet as testimony. The Muslim women have now come of age and is now in a position to read, understand, interpret the religious texts which can help to counter the false narrative of the West that has enveloped Muslim women. It is appropriate, valuable, and believable when the narrative is based on first-hand experience of the women rather than an outsider writing on their behalf. Muslim women have learned to become articulate and wield the pen in order to challenge and dispel the cloud of ignominy that envelops her. Representation is important, and while there may not be enough Muslim advocates in the media to highlight the contributions and achievements of Muslims who can be considered inspirational, there is immense publicity both in print, visual, and social media of the instances of a Muslim breaking law or engaging in violence. It is vital that the positive achievement of Muslims are highlighted and shared widely to dispel the negative perceptions created by certain law-breaking individuals. Amazing Muslims Who Changed the World by Burhana Islam is one such attempt to publicize the Muslim luminaries of diverse fields around the world. The work of American Muslim women writers is a representation of Islam as well as their history. They chronicle their adventures in the new country that they have settled in through their writings and frequently question whether professing faith in Islam in any way makes them any less of an American. The Islamic doctrines instilled in them leads them to unravel the truth and hypocrisy prevalent in the community, which wrongly aligns the superstitions and wrong practices prevailing in the society with Islam. These are but some very few references of Muslim women of the diaspora who are striving to clear the air regarding the status of women in Islam. Their writings provide them a platform to assert their point of view and absolve the world from its delusionary impressions concerning them. Muslim women in general contribute to demystify their position in the world by achieving and performing in various fields. However, their reach to subvert the misconception held by the world is limited because they lack the agency of expression that is available to writers. The politics of identity of Muslim women in India is deeply entwined with complex historical, religious, and cultural fabric of the region. The Indian Muslim women are multifaceted. These women share common gender and faith and may be worlds apart in terms of geography, politics, race, class, culture, profession, and language. They focus on common issues pertaining to women and their suffering. What sets them apart is their affinity with their culture and perspective. In India, the Muslim women initially made a mark, albeit small, by writing in Urdu and Bengali. Despite social and cultural bottlenecks, these women rolled on bold subjects and were trailblazers for other women of their community. Like the West, education and freedom to write for Muslim women in India was available to only women belonging to the elitist section or the women of the quota, as they were free from societal restrictions with regard to their societal interactions. Khuratul Haider, Ismat Chughtai, Soghra Humayun Mirza, Razia Sajjad Zahir, Rukhaya Sakhawat Hussain represent the elitist section of the society and set the standards for the next generation to emulate. Malaka Bai Chanda, an 18th century poet and courtesan from Hyderabad, was a feminist who contributed an amount of rupees 1 crore for the education of a girl children, an enormous fortune back in her day, and was the first woman to have an anthology of her poems published. In India, the Muslim women writers in English are sadly a minority within a minority and came much later on the scene compared to their other counterparts. Zeenat Fateh Ali Zohra is the story of an elitist Muslim woman forced to marry and give up her academic ambition. It evokes a period of civic unrest that preceded Indian independence. Atiya Hussain, Shama Fateh Ali, and Samina Ali are some of the early Indian Muslim women precursors writing in English. It can be observed that despite sharing common gender and faith, each narrative is unique in its own individual way. The experience of each writer is unique in recounting narratives of a community and providing historical background of a nation and highlight what it is actually to be a Muslim and a woman today. Each of these writers ventilate about their personal struggle to find their identity and is confronted by personal challenges. Muslim women are made out to be doubly marginalized because of their ethnicity and gender, but these examples refute the paradigm. Similar to the Muslim women writing in other languages in India, Indian Muslim women writing in English focused on topics like marriage, patriarchy, social class, and contested to subvert the established premise of Indian Muslim women as oppressed, voiceless, cloistered, and forced to hide behind the parda. The Indian Muslim women writing in English take up the challenge to counter the narrative that projects to adopt a condescending stand by drawing attention to the supposed plight of Muslim women. It may be true that Muslim women are oppressed, but then so are women of other representative groups. What is noticeable in these women, though, is that India's historical progress measured through freedoms acquired, biases challenged, and customs reformed. Urbanization of a predominantly rural population, domestic and international travel, and the advancement of women's education enable younger generation to take advantage of previously unthinkable projects. The novels of these writers give privileged access to wounded privacy, fractured history of many characters, apart from representing the staggering diversity of people on a relatively small canvas struggling to establish their identity. It is important, therefore, to liberate the rhetoric concerning Muslims in general and Muslim women in particular to enable her to move from the periphery to the center. It is important to set the record right by projecting her gender as empowered and emancipated. It is important to make the world understand and accept that Muslim women are capable of voicing their concerns and do not need patronizing. It is high time the Indian Muslim women correct the delusion by coming forward and writing boldly, apart from clearing the misconceived notion of the world regarding their status, and assert their right to self-determination and autonomy over their narratives in order to reshape the perceptions and direct the trajectory of world opinion to legitimize the truth surrounding them. This will help to foster a more nuanced and effective redressal of the conflict on hand. Envisioning a level playing field may be too early. But then it is vital to liberate the rhetoric from the clutches of the power back ghettoed mentality, prevent passive osmotic information, and debunk the hegemonic rhetoric enveloping the Muslim women. This is possible only when the Muslim women acquire power over their narratives and engage in voracious efforts to write back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your nice words about our institution and for highlighting the importance of literature in giving voice to the voiceless and empowering the powerless. Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time to unveil the e-copy of the research articles published in our in-house research journal, Jamal Academic Research Journal and Interdisciplinary. I now request our secretary and correspondent, treasurer, and our chief guest to unveil the e-copy of the research articles. Please, sirs. Please, ma'am. I also request the other dignitaries to join with them. Thank you, sirs, and thank you, madams.
Let us be grateful to the people who makes us happy. They are the charming gardeners who makes our souls blossom. Marcel Proust. Now it's the time to show our gratitude for the people who made this inaugural event a great success. For this, let me invite Dr. M. Muhammad Anwar, Associate Professor of English, to propose vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. A pleasant morning, one and all gathered here. It gives me an immense pleasure to stand before you to propose hearty vote of thanks. First of all, I register my votes of thanks to Almighty, the most beneficent, the most merciful, for His choicest blessings showered upon all of us, always. I thank our most honorable secretary and correspondent for all his marvelous support and motivation in the academic activities. Thank you so much, sir, for all your nice words and wisdom. Next, I thank our most respected treasurer for his enriching encouragement and interest in the success of all the programs. Thank you very much, sir, for your hearty care and share. Next, I thank our esteemed Assistant Secretary for his enhancing guidance in all the activities of the college. Thank you, sir, in absentia. Next, I thank our beloved member and honorary director of College Management Committee for his administrative initiatives that help us to achieve excellence always. Thank you, sir, in absentia. I also thank all the directors for their dynamic services and support in all the activities of the college. Thank you, sirs and ma'am, in absentia. I also thank to our respected principal for his active efforts taken for the successful conduct of today's national program, national conference. Thank you, sir, for your nice presidential address. I also thank our respected vice principal and additional vice principals for all their hearty supports in making this conference a fruitful one. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. I am indeed proud to take this opportunity to thank today's Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Suhufta Shaheen, Professor and Head of the Department of English, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad, Telangana. Ma'am, you have really highlighted the significant aspects of liberating the rhetorics, especially on women empowerment, in a remarkable way. I am sure that your insights will drive the audience towards healthy researchers in the days to come. Ma'am, we are happy that you are graciously accepted our invitation and inaugurate and delivered keynote address for today's national conference despite your busy schedule. We are indeed overwhelmed by your presence and presentation, ma'am. Thank you so much for your kind and noble gesture. I feel pleasure to thank our respected head of the department, Dr. A. Muhammad Mustafa, for all his far-sighted guidance that really helped us to strengthen all the proceedings of the conference. Thank you so much, sir, for your timely assistance. I also thank Dr. Jamisa Mohideen, Associate Professor of English, for presenting the theme of the National Conference, Liberating the Rhetorics, Changing Trends in English Language and Literature. Thank you, sir. I thank all my towering teachers and dear colleagues for all their sincere guidance and teamwork. Thank you, sirs. I also thank my fellow organizing secretary, Dr. Parvez Sharif sir, who has made this conference another milestone in the Department of English by way of his cool and smooth ventures. Thank you, sir. I also thank our respected Dr. A. Muhammad Ibrahim, former Vice Principal and Head of the Department of English, for his kind regards and esteemed presence. Thank you, sir. I also thank all the guests, special invitees, chairpersons, staff members from other departments, staff members from various reputed institutions, gentle participants, non-teaching staff, electricians, technical team members, media persons, and my dear students, friends, for all your overwhelming response. Thank you all. With these few words, I once again thank you, one and all gathered here. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank every one of you for joining us in the inaugural section of today's conference. We break for tea now. The technical sessions will resume after the tea break at 11:30. Thank you.